Sorry. I know I get it. Go a bit overboard sometimes with these beginnings. You know. It's Wednesday. Midweek waffle. It really does feel a little bit overkill at the moment, given that there were Saturday ones when I didn't think I would be doing anything for Sunday, and then there was a Sunday one because, yeah, I wasn't thinking about somebody posting on Sunday, so then there was a Sunday one, and now, just when I'm asking for more, give me more, give me more, there's more. So now, you know, just when I thought, well, maybe I shouldn't do the midweek waffle this week, because, you know, what else am I going to have to talk about, to waffle about, to wax lyrical about, to just, you know, enjoy the sound of my own voice about. He throws in his own midweek waffle. So, you know, let's dissect. Firstly, there is just a little bit on the end where I'm going, oh yeah, okay, I get your hint. Thank you very much. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, big boy. That's fine. You're entitled to your opinion. I'm kind of taking it good now. I'm sure, you know, given probably by the end of the day or tomorrow, I'll be like, he just me. It's just the PS bit. The PS bit. Okay, I'm not doing a podcast for one, so I'm gonna just pretend that, you know, I have to start realizing that these things are probably not directed at me at all, because, you know, probably the last person he's thinking about when he's saying these things. Probably the last person he thinks about from day to day, to be honest. It's the PS in a world full of podcasts where everyone is yakking away, but few have much to really say. It was a pleasure to listen to Self-Effacing Gary Newman. You might want to check it out. Well, I will do. You know, at a time and date to suit. I probably tonight. But don't fall asleep. Just on the subject before we get onto this and dissecting this, I've been having a really topsy-turvy time of sleep the past kind of, I don't know, week, I guess. Just damn all over the place. Topsy-turvy, not just in sleep, you know, knock-on effects of the sleep and the state of play of life in general, you know. So yeah, like last night again, the night before, I didn't sleep for hours. I couldn't fall asleep. And then I heard the other half get up. And so I was like, yeah, she's up. She can take care of the kids. Because, you know, it's usually me that's kind of like, I'm up with the alarm at 7:10, well, probably up, awake before that usually. I actually, I really don't need an alarm anymore because the alarm I have is called Sultan. She seems to sense as soon as I'm awake and starts. So usually I don't really need an alarm, although having said that, I slept through it this morning. I was coming around sort of going, what's that noise? What's that thing? I just was. It kind of crept into. I must have been dreaming something. I don't know what it was now. I can't really remember it, but it sort of crept into it. The sound, because I have a thing where it's kind of like this sort of musical thing. I went to bloody play. I went to pick it and play it for you so you could hear it. It's on my phone. I do that so much. So it's got this kind of like sort of melody kind of thing to it, and there's bird songs, like cuckoos cooing and stuff. So like I'm hearing all the bird song going, where are those birds? And then I'm realizing, oh god, shit, it's the alarm. Which usually has me just going, side of the bed, like, quick. I have a thing where you can just snooze it, but it has a very particular point in which you need to hit the snooze button. Like, is that actual, so you have to be right in the center of the screen to like tap it to could trigger the snooze button. If I hit the phone anywhere else, it doesn't trigger it. So I have to like feel around, kind of feel where the center of the phone is to go. I'm missing the point at which I seem to get for a while there, where I was waking up before the alarm and like waking up really kind of alert and ready for the day, which you would think it wouldn't happen when it was still dark, but it was happening while the morning was still dark. Now it's like daylight when the alarm's going off, and it's now the opposite of like, I'm just like not ready yet. So again, last night I couldn't sleep. More on that in a minute though. We'll get to this. I'm gonna try and stick to the agenda I've got. Pardon me. There's 3 things I want to talk about. Why do I every time doing this? I want to dissect his thing, and I want to discuss the thing that I was just more about the, even though I posted about it this morning, like doing a real waffle fest about it, just a little bit more on the art and talk Barra's gig that went up, and yeah, Saturday's Priptona talks. I'm gonna reveal on here who it is, if those of you who are interested in it even watch this thing. We'll see how many of you do. Because I'm gonna say, I'm not gonna like put it out anywhere else really. I'm not gonna put it on the blog in text or in a separate post until Friday. I will mention it on Friday, just as a preamble to go. Here we go. Probably come with something a bit more specific as well, and a bit more kind of, selling the point and what it is and who it is and why I'm so freaking damn excited about it. Anyway, I've tried to give this some thought. Right, let's just read it. Serendipity, what part has it played in your life? Question mark. Small, little insignificant question there, Jim. Get this going for you, midweek, Wednesday, hump day kind of, ponderings, huh, people? Throw that one out. Start off with a quote. I had set out to make a punk album, but instead I found a synthesizer lying around the studio we had hired. I had never seen one before, so I asked someone if I could use it, and then messed about a bit while my two bandmates were unloading and setting up their equipment. I was just so blown away with what I heard. Not that I could play it or anything. I could press a key, of course, but I didn't know how to set synthesizers up or understand what any of it did. It was all just switches and knobs to me, but it sounded amazing. The power and depth of sound. The room shook. It was a transformation moment. A quote from Gary Newman. As you'll know, when you find good or great things without intentionally looking for them, it's called serendipity. In Gary Newman's case, it was a synthesizer gathering dust, seemingly just waiting for him to happen on it. And if you, like me, you are a fan of Tubeway Army, you may well believe that a piece of popular music history was made as a result of him doing so. Newman sounded like nothing else on the radio in 1979. Far too formal to be punk. Chilly austerity was also far removed from the pop overtures of new wave, while sounding more like a soundtrack to Blade Runner, as it should have been. Throughout our history as Simple Minds, serendipity has on many occasions played a defining role within those twists and turns that led to us achieving results that went way beyond our expectations. Much more of that some other day, perhaps. Well, people are going on about this memoir, this mysterious memoir that's probably not going to turn up until you're about 75. Who knows? How about you, though? What part has serendipity played in your life? I read the PS. We don't need to go over that again. I did mention Bridlington as the first piece of serendipity. Well, not as the first piece of serendipity, but as an example of something serendipitous that kind of, that I did nothing with. I've tried to ponder this morning. I don't know. I could, because do you see the things that happen serendipitously necessarily as serendipitous at the time? Or even in retrospect? I don't know. I mean, is there like one massive kind of thing where I just went, oh, have I taken a wrong turn, or have I just gone this way instead of that way, or have I just, I don't know. I mean, ultimately, I guess, but then it wasn't serendipitous. I mean, was it truly serendipitous what happened to Gary Newman? I mean, because it was obviously a point and a reason for him being in the studio that day. I mean, he set out to be there. There was a purpose for being there. Okay, the actual thing of finding the synthesizer bit was serendipitous. So I kind of find it hard to think, like where an actual serendipitous moment would have altered something so fundamentally in what I would have done had this serendipitous moment happened. Can I think of one? I don't think I would have had a serendipitous moment that kind of would have altered things that fundamentally to me. Maybe, I guess, I don't know. Had I not gone and looked at this David Bowie forum page the day that I did, when I was wandering around the web, it was chance, I guess. It was chance that I stumbled upon this Bowie forum, and then chance that when I was on there and doing stuff, the other half was on there and doing stuff, and I guess that was pretty much mega chance that, I happened to be there on this forum thing. She happened to be there. We went, hey, you're a Bowie fan. Hey, you're a Bowie fan. What's your favourite one? Ah, that's a... Hey, you seem nice. Oh, yeah, so do you. Do you think we could chat about, being Bowie fans and, how we got into him and what we like and stuff, and then, so on and so forth, and then just went on and on? I guess that's chance. I guess it was chance. All of that. It's a bit serendipitous, I suppose. And I guess it was a pretty fundamental change that resulted in that. Some... Oh my god. Oh, I don't want to think about I'm just thinking about the time that has elapsed. Jesus. Freaking hell. Some 20 odd years later. That, I find myself living in Glasgow. Yeah, I suppose that would be probably a big serendipitous moment, I guess, to have just gone, I don't even remember the context of even going there. I must have just been, it's really early days of the internet. I mean, what the hell was I doing? I can't even think of like, because it's not like now where you go on, you're at, you go around Facebook, you're looking at people's timelines and you're looking at your own feed and you're seeing news and whatnot, and then you go to Twitter and you're looking at that and seeing what people are saying and what they're talking about and interacting and stuff. The early days of the web was nothing like that. And you had probably, I don't know, like just, I didn't even know what the hell I would have been doing. I must have just been researching stuff, just doing the normal thing of wanting to see what kind of Bowie things I was gonna find out there or something. Just the days of like groups, but like groups the way they were, like forums. And so like it was kind of like people doing, it was like mass email almost. It was really strange the way that was. You can't imagine, you can't compare it now. I suppose it was like, what they call them, they call them like threads, didn't they? It's a kind of almost like how when you have a Facebook post and people leave comments, but in such a, not even image based or anything. Like it was just, yeah. Oh God, and that as well. Like just waiting for images to load, waiting for images to load. We had such, I mean, what the hell? I can't even think of like what it was. It was like 16 kilobytes per second or something, like the connection that you'd have. And you'd have to, it was dial up, and then if you wanted to get you saw a picture and you wanted to download a picture, it'd be like, even just downloading something like now, you go, God, you look at a 300k picture and people go, oh God, it's not even animal, mineral, vegetable. I mean, pages on, photos on pages are, megabytes in size. Minimum, good quality looking images are at least a minimum of sort of 4 or 5 megabytes. Whereas then you'd be like, if you had a 300k file that was kind of high res and would take you probably 5 minutes to download the bloody thing. Just incredibly slow and time consuming and money sapping as well. God, I remember how friggin' expensive it was. Well, I mean, the choice I had to begin with was like, do I get myself a computer? Do I get myself a car? I gave myself those two options. Do I get a car or do I have a computer? And I sort of just went, well, what are these two things? What are these two opposing things going to give you? A car is going to give you mobility and get you from A to B. And you could, drive yourself around and get so far in it. But the potential of a computer is to take you round the world. it was kind of a no-brainer for me when I thought about it in those terms. Had I made the choice of the car, things could be very different. But there wasn't serendipitous. Thought went into it. But the decision to go to the Bowie page, the Bowie forum that day probably was a serendipitous choice of just going, oh, this thing looks alright. Might find out some things or something. Yeah, let's go on there. The gig that I listened to last night, the first, I'm assuming it is, I don't know, I haven't looked at the the Dream Giver Bible to actually confirm whether it was, apart from the actual recording and making of the waterfront video, whether this was actually properly the way Jim spoke on the thing. It sounded like it was actual first legitimate gig at Barra's. Yeah. So yeah. So there were three gigs at the Lyceum on the 17th, 18th and 19th of December. And then the first Barrows one was the 21st of December. That was the one I listened to last night. White Hot Day. Hearing White Hot Day live was just, that was amazing. I wonder what happened to Tiffany's. Why it suddenly closed. That I'll have to look into, because it seemed like, well, it sounds from the Dreamgiver side that the Tiffany's closure was really unexpected. Serendipity. In reverse. Tiffany's was originally booked for 2 shows, but the sudden unexpected closure of the venue and public demand for tickets prompted a last-minute venue switch. The band ended up playing 3 concerts at the newly opened Barrowland Ballroom. That was a couple of minutes and now I've lost where I was because I started to go, oh, where did they go from there? Oz. There's some serendipity for you, huh? Chance encounters. Yeah, just like, I was, again, I slept for a little while and then I come round, woke up, like, just then wasn't it was just restless. And I thought, oh, that gig's there. That Barris gig is there to listen to that Art and Talk has put up. Go on then, you know, let's listen to it at 3 o'clock in the morning, like you do. Not feeling like I was gonna get too swept up in it, which conversely I did. I really got swept up in it. I was just like, oh my god, this thing is just amazing. And when White Hot Day started, I was like, what is this? What's this? Because I couldn't place it at first. I'm going, what's this? There has to be something of Sparkle in the Rain, right? It's not Easter, because it doesn't sound right. The structure's wrong. And I'm going, no, it's not going to be, they're not going to do Street House, or it's not that. And it's not Book of Brilliant Things, because that won't start like that. What is this? And then I'm thinking about the other tracks on the album. I'm going, it's only C-Moon. Not C-Moon either, is it? And then, like, just in those few seconds where it's kind of was going at a pace where, to me, it was unrecognisable, but then actually started as it does on the album. And, you know, to mix keyboards kick in, Charlie's riff kicks in, I'm like, oh my god, it's White Hot Day. And then just, you know, hearing that kind of the beat of that, the kind of the time signature of this song, it's just, I think that was why I was most gobsmacked, because the time signature of the song is just unreal. And I'm going, like, just how do you even replicate this live? But it sounded amazing. And just, yeah, that was the thing of the gig for me. Wow, it sounded incredible. It's amazing. And then just being, yeah, I love that even compared to the year before, like, say the year before, where are we at? 21st of December 1983. So I think it's is it the 20th of December 82 is one of the last ones of the 1982 leg run of shows for New Gold Dream. Let me see. Yeah, 21st of December 1982 is the last of the gigs of the first leg, the first part of the New Gold Dream tour. And even then, like, you think, well, the years before that, the years leading up to that, you hear the slow kind of progression within Jim of, like, you know, just feeling like just a little bit more self-assured, a little bit more confident, a little bit more comfortable in his own skin, like, the, you know, but just little by little, not quite so you know, maybe the stage fright's not happening quite so extremely and everything. It's just incrementally. It's you hear it as you go along, as you listen to the gigs, and you just slowly the progression happens, where there's no real talk. There's no, maybe there'd be like, here's a new song, or this one's called blah blah blah, or there's very little connection, or at least in a very vocal sense of like there's you've I mean even so it's still absolutely mesmerizing to watch, and capturing and holding an audience captive, but for very different reasons to how it progresses, um so from even but from it's so marked, even from 1982 to 83, like one whole year, 12 months, you've got a little bit of, I listened to the Tiffany's gig from 82, and you hear just the things that, from New Gold Dreams, called Hunter in the Hundred, and like just a little bit of interplay going on, but not a lot. Not still, there's still reserves within him. There's still like, there's not anything that's kind of. It's getting better, obviously, getting and feeling more comfortable in his skin. And there's more of an overall performance going on. I mean, when you watch the footage and stuff of early New Gold Dream tour stuff, I mean, Newcastle City Hall, and seeing them on the tube, and that you can see a visual progression, like there is more showmanship visually, but from that point to then is just incredible. I mean, just even the thing that's like, he's just talking so much more, and just really just bringing the crowd in, and it's just, yeah, I mean, all of that, all of the band is as tight as they ever were. The more I get myself attuned to listening to the different stages and the different live performances and how things sounded, because I didn't really do too many of the bootlegs or anything right up until these past months. I would listen to the odd one, but then I'd listen to the same ones over again. I didn't. It's kind of, there's not much of a chance to listen too broadly to things. It's not like there's an endless thing of like, hey, I want to listen to them in wherever on this date, and you can just pick it and go. These things have to either come to light and be uploaded, or they just don't exist, or whatever. But I'm now getting more of an appreciation as well for Mel. I can see I can see why I hadn't really kind of coming in so late. I only ever got to see Mel twice before he was gone. um, and I probably come in at a time where the reasons for him going were becoming evident, I guess. So hearing now over, just what I've been listening to over the past, say, March, maybe like the past 6 months, I guess, but more intently in the past 3 months, just hearing the difference. Like I'd always be very pro Brian. Brian was my boy. um, and I would I would like what I heard from Kenny, and I always felt there was a kind of thing that I could detect and feel and appreciate with Mike, that why he didn't kind of last very long either. And so when Mel comes along, it is kind of like just I hear it now. I feel it, like when you hear stuff like this, or you just go, yes, you absolutely categorically, yes, you were the thing they really needed. um I mean, yeah, just it was just so energetic and so impassioned, and so I think that's what people kind of, I know it's still there. It really is. It is still there. You do get it. I get it. It's been one whole year since the last show, and um it is still there. It's still there in spades. But obviously, it's a different time, there's a different dynamic, there's a different setup to the band, different energy, younger men. Just, you know, you just feel like it's just palpable. It's palpable, the everything that's colliding, like Barra's being a new venue, Sparkle in the Rain about to come out and be number one, Waterfront being friggin' absolutely massive and anthemic, them just, Mel being on board, them being as tight as ever as a band, probably feeling quite cohesive right at that time, and then just all of that just spewing out, and just, I mean, just even just the thing of the intro to the American, and just hearing the crowd go absolutely fucking mental. Like, oh, it just makes me want to go back. Makes me want to have a TARDIS and be there, and but for one of not being able to actually travel back in time and being there, it's these things, they're the next best thing, and they're just so goddamn precious. I mean, I don't know who this Malcolm Beaton person is, but thank fucking Christ he just risks, being kicked out on his ass for taking recording equipment in to get these things, because They're so precious. They really are. It's just, I love them. I love hearing these things. It's it's taken me ages to come around to want to really immerse myself in these bootlegs like this. But when I do, and there are still some where I'm going like, once we get to 85, I find myself not quite so keen. I think because I get worried about, and I should just do it as a kind of, just as an exercise in taking in the changes and everything, if not for nothing else. I do have to kind of watch my bias and my prejudice, because for me it's like 85 is leading up to I can hear changes in arrangement, and as we get into 86, as we get into the Once Upon a Time tour in 86 and into 87, and the album that dare not speak its name. I don't. I don't feel comfortable with the way the arrangements sound and stuff. I don't know. I'm not. I hate saying it. I really hate saying it, but I'm really not a fan of how the arrangements are and that on the album that dare not speak its name. I wish I could feel the other way, but I think, I went to listen to it very early. This is before any kind of thing tainted and sullied further my ideas about it. I know for some it's, for a lot of fans, it is the live album. And I appreciate that it is for them, probably because they were into it when it came out and they were seeing the gigs at the time and stuff, so it gives it a different feel. For me, it just, I don't want to go into this. So yeah, I kind of like, I really like delving into the early stuff as much as the early stuff as I can, from 79 to or 78 even. There is a couple really bad recordings that are around from gigs in 78, so anything from 78 to 85, I'm in there. Afterwards I have done too as well, like I think I have listened to a couple of real life tour ones. I've listened to a couple of Good News from the Next World ones. I haven't kind of listened to too many after that point. I mean, there are obvious things where there is a I never know how to pronounce the thing. I always want to say Laurel. I know which one I mean. The thing, the one in the is it Germany? God, it's terrible. That the like 97 to Eve of Neapolis kind of thing. Was it? It was another rock palace thing, but it was outside, and yeah, that one. Have watched that one a few times, and I think then it becomes a bit patchy. I haven't really experienced too much after that. Not until 5x5. Yeah. Oh, just. Eternal Regret 2006. To put the whole serendipitous thing on its arse. Regrets. Damn. That the serendipity didn't take hold in 2006. Or not that the serendipity didn't take hold, but once the kind of thing was embedded in there, I must listen to them, I must explore their back catalogue, I must give them some more of my time, and then started to do so, and then didn't really gel with Life in a Day, and then just went, nah, what am I doing this for? Yeah. Whereas I should have done what I did in 2014 and gone, right, okay, well, Life in the Day is not really doing much for me. It's not really gelling on like some things, and yeah, I hear what's going on, and it's, it's good, but it's not great. Like, let's move on. Let's go to the next album. Let's see what's different and what changes, and is there anything to grasp from the next one, like rather than what I did in 2006 was like, yeah. I'm just honestly, yeah, that was just for bad choices. That was a really bad one. Right. Last thing that I want to bring up is Saturday. We are 2 days away. We're 2 days away from the release of The Art of Losing by the Anchoress. And we also are having this Q&A thing that she is doing for Rough Trade, in which Pete Pafides is going to be talking to her about the album and whatever else. I was kind of hoping that there was going to be something a little bit, maybe a couple of tracks performed live or something, but I don't think that's gonna happen. But maybe she's keeping it up her sleeve. I don't know. We'll see. So I haven't had any confirmations yet. I was expecting to get some things going, like your thingo has been dispatched and will be with you shortly, but I haven't had that. It's a bit of a worry, but I have two things coming. I have the one of the bundles, which is the album on vinyl and the 3 CD deluxe package coming. They both look stunning. Also, I have got the gold vinyl coming. The evil Amazon. I was a bit peeved at that. One, I was like, oh, don't make me buy from Amazon. And then two, I actually then did go and buy from Amazon, and then some of them became available on the actual Towns and Music site, but then I was beat off about because I was going, then I didn't have to buy it from Amazon. Goddamn. Yeah. So I'm really hoping that it shows up on Friday, that one of these versions shows up on Friday. I'd love to review it properly in its full thing. I've been trying to keep away from it and not have myself too exposed to the singles that have come out so far. So with Show Your Face and Unravel and The Art of Losing, and now The Exchange, I've just listened to them all just a couple of times and then stopped. Just wanting to have the proper feel of proper experience of just listening to the album from start to finish. So I'm hoping on Friday I can do that. One of the copies of the album will arrive and I can take a couple of listens, give a review, which, hey, I mean, Jesus. The reviews it's had so far have been pretty incredible. So I think mine is probably going to be likewise. On top of that, on Saturday, I had the very wonderful pleasure, whenever the hell it was now, it feels like a lifetime ago. I feel like I've been sitting on this forever. A couple of weeks back, I think, at the end of February, I think it was. Don't quote me on it. Catherine and I had a Zoom chat, and I asked some like questions of Udo. And she was like, why you were asking me all these questions for now? So yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really excited about it. I am not Michael Parkinson. Let's just put that out there, right? We know It was a big deal. I was absolutely petrified. Because Catherine is getting absolutely freaking humongous. Yeah, so I was absolutely bricking it. Big time. But I think all things considered that I'm a complete amateur. I'm not a person who goes around interviewing people like willy-nilly and, you know, has very much a very amateur blog, as certain people are at pains to remind me of. And times I'm not trying to make it appear this amazing, you know. I'm not putting it out there as some incredible, you know, professional blog by any means. It's me. You know, now I say it may contain a big dose of Jim Kerwell. It also contains a big dose of amateur cryptonerism. Yeah. Hey, it's got my quirks to it. Either people like it or don't. You know, they don't have to come and look at it. They don't, you know. But I'm really, really happy with this. I'm really, really happy with this interview. I'm really happy with it. And you will see it on Saturday. Yeah, it'll have a whole big fanfare post come Friday. I will do a proper fanfare post for people who don't look at these and watch these silly video bits that I do. So it'll be a bit ta-da! Happy release day to The Art of Losing. Come back to my blog tomorrow to see Priptona Talks to the Anchoress. Yes. And with that, I shall go for today, because this, as a midweek waffle, has really friggin' waffled on. The weather has been topsy-turvy today. Started nice. Sun about. Wasn't expecting that. But now it's a bit overcast and it's been a bit rainy, and yeah. It's Glasgow. And over the next few days, it's going to be this wonderful mixed bag of sunshine, showers, but mostly showers with probably a little bit of sun here and there. But you know, you're mostly going to get rained on for the whole rest of the week, basically. Yum, yum, yum. Might get to enjoy a little bit of early morning sun on Sunday, but then Monday is going to be the first day in a while in which we can enjoy some sun. Right. I hope you're all doing okay out there. I mean, you know, fingers crossed. It is not much longer to go. We don't have much more to endure. it's going to feel really weird to get back to normal once normal resumes, whenever that happens. It's going to be slow stages, I should think. Yeah, okay. Well, again, hope you're all okay. Come back to the blog on Saturday. I mean, you can, look in on the blog in the meantime before that, but Saturday, please come back on Saturday and watch me in conversation with the anchoress.